Okay, so this is one of the easiest chocolate cakes ever created. The recipe's in the description, and the quantities and amounts and all that good stuff's in the description. It's very easy and it's very delicious. Devil's Food Cake Mix, Duncan Hines. One box. One box of instant jello pudding powder. You have some sour cream. You have some canola oil. You have semi-sweet chocolate chips. You have some eggs, and you have some kahlua. Now, all this does is kind of add to the complexity of the cake. The kahlua is optional. You can leave it out. The canola oil makes it nice and moist. But anyway, let's put this thing together. It's quite easy. So we're going to add 2 eggs to a large bowl. Then we're going to add half a cup of kahlua. And then we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of canola oil. And the way I like to make my cakes is mix all the wet ingredients together first, and then slowly incorporate the less wet ingredients like the sour cream, and then go ahead and fold in your dry ingredients. So I'm just going to mix these eggs and the oil and the kahlua, make it nice and smooth and emulsified, or as much as possible. This step is optional. I don't even think sometimes people do that, and it still turns out fantastic. It's pretty foolproof, this recipe. So now we're going to add the sour cream, and I like to just mix the sour cream into the oil and canola and the eggs and all that stuff, the kahlua and whatnot. Just mix it until it's nice and smooth, just like you see me doing there. It's very easy. It takes a couple minutes. Again, this step is optional, but I think it makes a better cake. And now make sure you use instant jello vanilla pudding powder. So add 1 box of that. And then we're going to add 1 package of Duncan Hines Devil Foods cake. This is the hardest part of the whole cake, is opening the stupid package, and it exploded and it went all over my kitchen, but was well worth it in the end. So just use the scissors, cut the top, and don't be such a brute, but to each his own. So open up the cake box, dump the powder in, and then now we're going to add our chocolate chips. Now, I just went with the most affordable chocolate chips possible. You can use high quality chocolate, completely up to you. Completely unnecessary, but up to you. Now we're just going to mix everything together. Now, you don't want to over mix it because then it's going to get kind of chewy, but you want to make sure everything's nice and incorporated. So I'm just going to stir, kind of fold it in with my spatula, and you're going to see that it gets nice and wet and sticky, and it all comes together. And that's all it takes for this cake. That's all you have to do. So start to finish, right now we're probably, it took me less than 5 minutes to put together. So it's going to look like that. You're going to make sure that you just kind of scoop that spatula underneath the bottom to get all those dry bits up. So once it's all incorporated, get yourself a Bundt pan. This is crucial. You need a Bundt pan. Totally important, because it helps cook the center of the cake just as well as the outside of the cake. Otherwise, the center won't cook. So get a Bundt pan. And it also creates a beautiful shape. And just scoop it in. I just do like 1 spatula scoop at a time. Try and make it as even as possible. But it doesn't really have to be totally even, because we're going to smooth it out in just a sec. I'll show you how to do that. But just try and evenly add that to the Bundt pan. This Bundt pan rocks. It was like $20 at Publix. It's like super heavy. It feels like it's cast iron, but it's not. And it's also nonstick. If it's not nonstick, if your pan is not nonstick, go ahead and oil the pan really well, because you don't want this cake to stick. You can use butter and flour or butter and sugar. You just want to make sure that doesn't stick. But this pan was brand new and it was amazing. And now what we're going to do is just smooth out the cake. Now, I initially thought this part was a lot harder than it really was. This is so easy. So I just spun it around in my hand with a spatula in the other hand and just smooth it out. And as you can see, it's like incredibly, incredibly even. And it just took an extra 45 seconds to do. And now we're going to bake this thing 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 45 to 55 minutes. Don't use convection, just use the still oven. And it's going to come out just like that. And you want to let it cool. You don't want it to be hot when you take it out of the pan. So I let it cool for about an hour. And then when you flip it over on your little cake stand, give it a little shaky shake, make sure it comes out of the Bundt pan, even though I didn't need to do that, but most people will. And voila, a beautiful, beautiful chocolate cake. And it couldn't be easier. I mean, kids love it, adults love it. You can serve it with a little bit of whipped cream or sweetened creme fraiche, a little powdered sugar. I just kept it very simple. I just cut myself a slice and just went to town right away. Leave a comment down below. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like about it, how much weight you gained over the past week devouring this cake. And we'll see you guys next time in about a week, maybe 2 weeks from now. Peace.